Hi boys and girls, my name's Mrs. Lanning and I'm so excited to welcome you back to Writers Workshop. Writers, we have been learning ways to share our thoughts and ideas through opinion writing through this unit that we've started. So I thought today we could practice sharing our thoughts and ideas. And you know what? I'm really interested to see if all of us will have the same thoughts or ideas. So I thought I would invite Mr. Lanning here today to see if we would all have the same opinions. So we're going to look at these pictures here. We have the tiger, the elephant, and the monkey. And I want us to think about which one we think is the best. I want to hear, do you think Mr. Lanning and I are going to have the same thought and idea? Do you think we're going to have the same opinion? Ooh, I hear some saying yes, some saying no. Let's find out. All right, I'll go first. Mr. Lanning, I think that the elephant is the best animal because it's the biggest. It also can roll around in mud, it can go in the water, it can go on land, it has giant tusks, and it can spray water out of its nose. That seems so cool. That's why I think that the elephant is the best animal. What do you think, Mr. Lanning?
Not even close. The tiger is the best. It's not even close.
Mr. Lanning, we've got to remember, we learned how to politely and thoughtfully disagree and agree with someone. We've got to show our students what we're going to teach them today about agreeing politely and thoughtfully. Can you show them that?
That's right. I disagree with Mrs. Lanning. I think the tiger is the best. One, he is super fast. If they were to get into a race between the elephant and the tiger, who do you think would win? Two, they hunt. And three, check out the coat. Fashion design everywhere on the tiger.
Oh, with the stripes?
With the stripes.
I see that. That was so much better. You gave me reasons, you politely disagreed with me, you didn't put me down, and you shared your thoughts and ideas of why you think it's the best, even though you were disagreeing with me.
And I can understand why you think the elephant is the best, but Mrs. Lanning, I do disagree.
Thanks for sharing, Mr. Lanning. Wow, we do not all agree. We think different things, and that actually is pretty exciting. Maybe if we hear each other's reasons for liking one animal or another, or maybe a favorite toy or game, we might change our minds and grow our thinking, which is one of the best things to do. Writers, not only is it exciting that in one class of first grader there's lots of different opinions about which animal is the best, but it's also important. The only way that other kids in your class, in your school, or even in the world can know what you think or know what your opinion is for you to share your opinion. And we can do that through writing. And people may say, I agree with you. Or they may say, I disagree with you. And you know what? That's okay. We can politely agree and disagree with each other, just like Mr. Lanning and I did. We have different opinions about which animal is the best, and that's okay. You will want to learn what people don't like about your opinion on the animal or other item that you picked as the best, because maybe they will convince you to change your mind. Also, if you know what people think, you can politely talk back for your choice and you can be more persuasive. So Mr. Lanning, he told me that he thinks the tiger is the best because it's the fastest, but maybe I can go back and add to my writing and explain why, even though the elephant isn't the fastest, why it's still the best. So it gave me some ideas for my writing. Boys and girls, today I want to teach you that writers do not all agree, and that is okay. If one person has written his or her opinion, someone else can say, I agree, my opinion is the same. Or they might say, I disagree, I have a different opinion, and that's okay too. When we do not agree with someone else's opinion, that is a great time to write our own opinion and back it up with reasons why we disagree or think something different. So you'll see, I caught Mr. Lanning and I told him, no. First of all, you've got to politely disagree, and second of all, you've got to give your reasons. So often, if you disagree with an opinion, you might say, I disagree because, and you give your reasons. You'll see he gave a whole list. Friends, have you ever looked at someone else's collection or heard about what they think is the best and thought, no way, I think this is the best. Maybe they wanted to play hide and seek and you said, no way, tag is the best. Because if you've ever heard someone else's opinion and thought, I disagree, That is a good time to do what? What can you do when you hear someone's opinion and you disagree? That's right. It's a great opportunity to write your own opinion and give reasons why, to be persuasive. When you hear or read someone else's opinion and you think, I have a different opinion, that is a great time for you to write your own opinion. So, like we said, it's an opportunity for you to politely talk back. You might say, I disagree because, or some people say that the elephant's the best, but I still think the tiger is the best. Here's why, and they explain. You also can use sparkly words. You know what I thought was pretty funny? Mr. Lanning, he said, look at that coat, fashion, and he was describing the pattern all over the tiger. He used sparkly words to get our attention. You can say amazing, incredible, wonderful, explaining and persuading why you think something is the best. And we also want to make sure that we're polite and thoughtful when we disagree with another person's opinion. We're not attacking the person, we're not putting them down, we're politely disagreeing because we're allowed to have our own opinion. So you might say, it makes sense because, but I still think, or you might say, some people might think this is the best, but I still think. Or maybe you'd say, I can understand why Mrs. Lanning thinks this, but I disagree. Or I think that the tiger is even better than the elephant because it's so fast. You also might say, in my opinion, this is the best. Or I know other friends might say this, but I still think it's the best because, and you politely share your reasons. You'll notice Mr. Lanning didn't just go, you're wrong. You're crazy. That's not what it is. He didn't do that. He politely disagreed with me and shared his opinion. So friends, are you ready to try something new? We're going to look at our classmates' collections, noticing what they chose as best in show. And maybe you'll notice that they have a different opinion than what you think. And I want you to tap your head if you notice that as we're looking along. So you're going to have that opportunity in your writing today, in your independent work. And this time, your writing is going to be extra powerful because when we look at this one collection, after we look at all of our classmates, we may notice that out of a certain collection, there's different opinions about the collection. One person may say this is the best, one person may say that is the best, and they have to disagree and explain why they disagree. So remember when we talked about family arguments about where to eat? Tacos, pizza, tacos, pizza. And we decided the best way to convince people is to write your opinion and write it really well. And you'll want to remember what we know about good writing. It's going to be interesting to hear all these different opinions developing about these collections. This is so much more interesting than when everyone just gets along and says, oh yeah, we all agree, that's the best, the end. It's kind of more fun to watch sometimes when people politely disagree, just like Mr. Lanning and I just did. Because we want people to look at the collection and we want them to look closely and really think about their judgment and their decision, to be thoughtful, and we each have our own thoughts and ideas. Today, you are going to look over someone else's collection and decide which item you think is the best. Not which item I think is the best, or Mr. Lanning, or mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, cousin, brother, sister. You get to decide which one you think is the best, even if you disagree with them. So first, I'll show you Aria's collection. She has a collection of art supplies. Now, as you can see, she chose paint as number 1. But you might agree with her, or maybe you disagree with her. So out of her collection, she had paint, markers, crayons, or colored pencils. Maybe you think markers are the best, and maybe you're thinking of the Mr. Sketch smell markers. I love those. So maybe you would say, I disagree with Aria. I do not think paint is the best. I think markers are the best because they can even come in special scents. You also can draw with markers on paper, on boards, on signs. So friends, you can use these sentence stems to politely agree or disagree with Aria. Or maybe you say, I agree with Aria. I think paint is the best because you can paint with your hands. You can paint with brushes, whatever it may be. Or maybe you think crayons or colored pencils are the best. But you can look at Aria's collection and you can use these sentence stems to decide which one you think is the best if you agree or disagree, and politely explain why you agree or disagree. So once again, your writing may begin with, I agree with Aria because I think blank is the best because, Or maybe you say, I disagree with Arya. I do not think paint is the best. Instead, I think is the best because, and you explain. Now, I also had to throw in Jose's collection of superheroes. He has Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, or Spider-Man, and he put Captain America as his number one. Maybe you agree with him, maybe you disagree with him, and that's okay. You know what? This is a great opportunity for you to write your opinion, to politely and thoughtfully agree or disagree, and to give reasons why. You can't forget to give those reasons why. So writers, we talked about how the best way to get someone to go for pizza or to agree with you is not just to yell louder and louder. So before we go and write and share whether or not we agree with Arya or Jose, let's review our anchor chart on how to convince your reader. So to convince your reader, remember, we have to write our opinion. So in this case, we're writing whether we agree or disagree. We need to make sure we give lots of reasons. We need to say because or also, another reason is. We want to make sure that we add details. Maybe you say, for example, like Mr. Lanning did. He said, for example, if you were to have a race, and he gave that example. And to politely talk back. You can explain why you disagree with someone. And to use those sparkly words. Amazing, incredible, wonderful, exquisite, exciting. All right, friends, I'm so excited to see what you write today. Remember, we are allowed to have our own thoughts and opinions and ideas, and we can share those through writing in polite and thoughtful ways. All right, friends, it's your turn. Writers go write.